Hello and welcome back to the channel. On my last week's what video tutorial would you like to see next on the channel? Most people chose to see me mixing a hi-hat. So this is it, guys. Obviously, you know that every element has got connection with the next element on every mix. So why did I say that? Because mixing hi-hat without actually hearing what other elements that is connected to will make it non-valid. So let's have a listen to these elements that is connected to. I won't play all the song, just the elements that is connected to, like the bass, drum, claps, and this orchard. And then we can dissect what I've done to the hi-hat. So at least that's giving you a bit of idea what we are dealing with here. Let me now go ahead and just solo the hi-hat so we can hear what it sounds like before I added anything to it. Let me bypass all these effects. So have a listen to it without, and then I'll add the elements so you can notice what's happened before I go and show you guys what I've done and why I did it. So if you've paid attention closely, you notice that the hi-hat actually got more stereo. And secondly, that mid-range, or should I say sort of low mid, is been taken out. So why did I do that? Because one, it's a bit annoying, and two, the clap is actually doing something similar. So let's listen to the snare clap. You notice there is a sound on that mid-range that sounded a bit closer to that knock on the hi-hat. So this clap seems like it's got a wide clap and a narrow clap. So that narrow one already on the way. Then if you add it to the hi-hat itself, it becomes a bit too much. So let me bypass all this, and then we can play just these two together without the treatment, and then I'll add the treatment. Do you notice immediately how that clap sort of got out of the way of that snare clap? That's why I decided to do it this way. So how did I do it? First, I added a stereo delay, which is sample delay, basically delaying the left and right signal, which created that separation and took it out of the middle. So let's just listen to only that. As you can see, that's already taken that snare out of the center where that clap was clashing with this snare. So next thing, what did I do? I just added a bit of EQ, pulled a bit of the low out and a dip on this 1K because I felt like the snare was a bit too harsh around that 1K, especially when you play the sound a bit loud. That was not cutting it for me. I put on a C4 and pulled all of it out. As you can see, around just about 1.5 was pulled out. So let's have a listen. So having pulled this out, I also went ahead and tackled it with the ESA. Just around that 3K now that's still left sounded a bit harsh to me. So I also added a de-esser. So having added this, if you notice the level has gone down from where we were. So that's why I put this game plugin at the last, bring it up by 4 dB. So it sort of brings the level up to where we were before pulling the lows out. So having pulled the low out and also dipping that 3.392k, I thought it's missing something. So I went and added a bit of saturation using this isotope exciter. So I'm putting it on the warm side, as you've got four. You've got retro, tape, tube, or warm. So I moved it on the warm side and drag it up by 6.5. If you notice, this is actually helping to brighten it up a little bit further, but instead of using an EQ, which can create a bit more harshness, so I decided to go with saturation, which is this exciter. So the last is a small reverb plate, the R2 by Exponential Audio, which is part of Isotope now. So if you notice, it's a short plate, which is very small. Let's have a listen to it with the reverb now. So that helped create a bit more dimension to the hi-hat instead of sounding lifeless. As you can see, every decision obviously is caused by something in the mix. So me mixing this hi-hat this way is because of the fact that I wanted separation from this snare. And also that also helped open up that middle for vocal as well, because if this snare stays in that middle as it is before adding the sample delay, and also the clap was already on the middle, even though I pushed it slightly to the left on the panning. So when the lead vocal comes in, they will start stepping on top of that vocal. So that's why I decided to put it away. So I hope this is helpful. Obviously, when I'm mixing a different hi-hat, depending on what other element in the mix is doing, might determine doing it this way or doing it differently, which is why when mixing, it's not like you have to do this on every mix. You need to think of other elements, what are they doing, and then try to create space for each element. So I hope this is helpful. Please hit that like button. Also subscribe to the channel. On the next week, I'll be posting what video tutorial you want to see next. So go ahead and put your vote down there, and I'll be compiling it together to put the video out. Thanks guys for the support. See you guys on the next video. Bye now.